It's Don the Auction Professor. Today I'm going to talk about how I list and how I do my photographing for it, and then we're going to be going into just a quick series on how I do it efficiently and effectively and how we actually list once we do take the photos. This is literally a setup that I would do. Again, I use the Nikon D5300 camera. I've had 5 or 6 different cameras of various kinds. This is the best, the bomb. The biggest features is that it has the SD card here, and it can plug in anything you want. Literally your microphone, your mini HDMI, AV out, and then it also has the ability to plug in a button trigger, so I can plug in this trigger button here. But again, it's just a matter of screwing it on. This cam stand you see me putting on here was purchased off of Amazon. It is the bomb. It takes up a lot less space. It's fully adjustable, the stand. This is the whole piece here. This all goes to one unit. It comes apart. You can swivel it around. You can shoot in any direction. You can shoot sideways. It just has a regular, like a vice grip connection to mount to a table. Once you got the camera in there, it just literally slides into here. Tighten everything down, and off you go. I mean, there's not much to it with this cam stand. Again, I use the trigger here. But I use the trigger. This is the trigger. It plugs into the side here. And then it's literally just mounted on here. I just literally wrap it around here a couple of times. And that way I can just grab it right here. So here's the trigger. That's how quickly you take it. I also have a battery adapter for the camera. So you can literally just slide this in. And then you plug it into a power cord, and you can just keep this plugged in all the time. That's literally all there is to it. Take care of the lens cap, of course, and zoom out the lens. And then it's back to live view on here, and it's just a matter of grabbing whatever we're listing, which in this case is just postcards I grabbed. I price postcards ahead of time. I don't price everything ahead of time, but I do price postcards. And then it's just a matter of lining them up real quick in here, getting them dead center. You focus a little bit, and then literally that's just the matter of clicking. And then you're flipping it over. The second it turns black, if the screen turns black, you flip it over. You can quickly tap the button on here, just like you can on the main button, and it'll get off the preview screen instantly, and then you're already taking another photo. So again, it's black already. If I was going to do another one, I'm just going to throw another one straight up on here. If I'm going to do another one, you're doing a whole bunch. It's just a matter of putting them in here, and I usually put them up in here, so I'm just grabbing one from one stack, slide it over. Again, quick photo. And then if you just tap the button, it'll actually give you the chance. You can just sit there and take another photo real quickly off of it. So again, it's a matter of just a few seconds to take a photo doing it this way. I can take a couple hundred in an hour easily, and so can pretty much every employee I have working here. Obviously, I'm a little distracted because I'm talking about it too, but it's just that simple. If you don't want to use the screen, sometimes I set a laptop up here with a 17-inch screen. It plugs in with, AV cables from this, which is plug in anywhere. I've got a 20-foot cable, so someone in another area could even be looking at this while I'm taking photos, or I could be looking at it and tell them yes, no, whatever the case may be. But that's all there is to it when you're taking the photos. When I take photos like this too, I'll set stuff up here on the side for the employees to take photos. And what they'll do is they'll sort it. Like this one here is sorted from smallest to largest. So when you're down here, you don't have to adjust the camera very often. Sort everything out. If I'm doing postcards, I sort it all out by type of postcard. So there'll be 100 or 150 or whatever the case may be California cards all together, so that I'm taking, one shot of just California cards, and then when I go to list those same cards, all I'm doing to list them is listing in one category. So I'm not changing categories. I'm not doing anything else other than clicking the Sell Similar button. But again, that's really all there is to this. The camera is the bomb, I'm telling you right now. The quality for it, the color, the depth, everything this thing does, and the ability to take in low light, adjust the light from the camera itself is just awesome. I use this straight down shots to take photos of my personal artwork to send to the publisher, the printers that we use. So, this camera does it all. I use these cameras to do video as well. The booth, or the area I take in here, is just a matter of sheets right now. I actually have the board, just like I have on the desk, with the melamine 3/4 inch plywood that's going to be covering this whole area. No more cleaning or anything like that. No more changing anything. And this is just shelving, and I can move this around. Sometimes I put a shelf up on top to put stuff as we take photos, or I can lower this down and actually set the laptop on here and just have the board, you know, another shelf right here. So, you know, it just depends on how I want to do this. Everything is mobile or movable. I've got several of each thing. I've got several of these Nikon D5300s. Always have a backup, and, you know, we use them in several areas at the same time. The stands, I have 2 stands, 2 power cords, 2 sets of lenses. The good thing about this camera here, let's take this off real quick here. Just give you one more idea here. Now the best part about this camera here, and I'll just show you real quick without taking it off. Let's put the lens cap on though. The best part though is that the lenses are actually removable from the camera. You know, and that is a huge plus, because if you damage the lens or anything else, I've always put the lens back on, mind you. Never ever leave it off. It exposes the mirrors and your sensors to the dust, and you don't want that in the camera. But being able to change the lenses is awesome, because you can do intricate details. You can set up a different lens for whatever you're doing. I always keep a filter on here too, mind you. I have a UV filter on the edge of every lens that I use, so if there's dust or anything else, it's on the filter. It's not on my main lens. If I ding this, clip this, or anything else, it's going to damage the filter and not my actual lens. These lenses are $100+ for the most part. I've got some that cost, you know, $200-300 for a lens. This camera is about $500. If you're doing good business, you know, up yourself. Don't be using a cell phone or anything like that. The quality is so much better using a DSLR. The universal ability to use this for filming, for video, for anything you want to do. This camera does it all. Microphone booms, whatever you want to do, this camera does it all. But literally, that's about all there is to taking the photographs and getting ready to list. I put them on a chip. Once the chip has, you know, all the images that we want, once we get that chip out, let's say these are the ones we photographed today, it goes in a little Ziploc bag, and then it goes in with this. And what I'll do is I'll write a bin number that they'll pick these from and put them in. So they'll have like, this is F59, I'll just give them some number. They'll pull out the bin, they'll take the chip, they'll take the cards, and they'll just grab a laptop. And from that laptop, they're just going to go ahead and they'll be able to list in that bin and just go from there, because usually I've got the prices on it when it hits that point here. There's always a laptop setting somewhere in this room. Here's a laptop here. You know, this one sometimes we use for setting up here to take the photos with too, but that's literally all there is to this. The Nikon D, honest to God, is the best camera I have ever owned. It does everything I have ever wanted a camera to do, and then more. The quality, the amounts of setups, the changeability. You can buy vintage lenses when you go to thrift stores and Savers and all those places. The lenses are interchangeable in this. This is the one that I found that has the best interchangeability for lenses, and that you will find the most used lenses for a reasonable price. Now, I've got a brand new one in this one here, because I use this one for many different things, and I wanted something very specific to do this with. But other than that, I use vintage lenses even to shoot my videos. You can use just standard SLR lenses for non-digital cameras on this. The mount is the same. So, and then I have rings, adapter rings that can downsize and upsize, so I can use lenses from different size cameras as well too. So that's just a word of wisdom there on that. And I always keep these boards handy. This is a pure black foam core board. Even the inside core is black. I use that to block light. I can use some, I've got some little braces down here for it. I got a card back there for the sizes, for my measurements, and I've got a couple of these, so when one gets dirty or something. I've cut off the secondary numbers. It's been taped to a board, so I can just walk this around anywhere. Instead of sliding the card around to get the card in the right spot, I slide the board. It's a lot easier. It just slides right underneath my light setups. And again, I've talked about these lights in another video. These are just simply the standardized photo bulbs. I bought a socket setup for it, ran the cord through here, and made these boxes out of more of the same corrugated board. And I've got these in another video where you can see just talking about that. Again, I've got the cables. Everything is set up and bagged and marked and ready to go, so when somebody comes in, they just grab a bag with all the information on it and they start listing. And it's really easy. Anybody should be able to list 30 items in an hour of these type of items. Anybody. Now, I've done it. My employees do it. Everybody does it. It's not a huge ordeal to do it. So that's what I have for you today. I'm going to be going into all the aspects of me listing through the whole process and setting you up to show you how it's easy and quick to list these kind of items. It's not like clothing where you have to set up mannequins and all the other stuff. I do this for books, video games, toys. This stand and this setup I use for almost everything other than clothing and the real big items. Almost everything will fit in this area here. So with this stand, the stand will bend back in the other direction. I can also swivel it, and then you can literally swivel and move it around and anything you want. You can take photos at any angle. This stand is honestly the bomb. And again, it's solid steel. These are steel pipes all the way around. I'm going to never have to buy another stand other than this one here. You know, and I've got 2 of them now too. But again, I'm going to have links to that. I'll have a link to this down at the bottom. This is like 10 or 15 bucks. It saves me a world of time to reach around, get the button, plus it stops any shake. There is no movement to the camera other than the shutter when you're using this button. It's quick. One button, click, boom, it takes a picture, And it has a quick pick mode where you can take multiple pictures as quick as the shutter will go too. If you do an animation, art, or anything like that, or you want to catch fast action. But this is literally what I do. Nothing fancy. You know, boxes store all the way across the shelf on top of me. There's boxes over here. You know, there's, more stuff behind all this. Everything is lined up and set up in here, so it's movable around. I can reuse these. I can set them up. I can store stuff here if I want. It's just a shelving area. Nothing fancy. You don't need anything fancy or expensive. The camera should be where you spend all your money on to get the best camera you can afford. If you're doing good business, invest in a nice camera. Don't use your phone. It's just not the best means to do it. This adjusts by light. Even in low light right now, I can take really good quality photos, but I blare it with good light to get the color perfect. I've got a color test card I use too, so I can see if the color's coming out right. But again, that's what I have. Hopefully that gives you some ideas. Again, this is just part 1. I'll go into actually the listing process of it too. Quick and easy. Lining it up, setting yourself up to start with, and being able to list stuff quickly and easily all in a row without changing categories or anything else. That's what you want. But again, Don the Auction Professor, hopefully you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button below. You can subscribe, tell a friend, and hit the bell icon up top if you want to be notified when we post new videos and content.